sit down, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. But instead of connecting with God, within 30 seconds, your brain is reminding you to swap the laundry or replaying a stressful conversation from lunch. It's an incredibly common, frustrating loop. We often treat this mind wandering as a personal spiritual failing, but consider the context. We are attempting a focused, ancient practice in rooms and on devices specifically designed to pull our attention in a dozen different directions at once. This data highlights our specific hurdles. 40% of respondents struggle with distraction, 35% don't know what to say, and 25% cite time constraints. This friction often stems from lacking a clear framework or an optimized environment. Most people facing this dilemma fall into one of three categories: the overwhelmed novice, the distracted veteran, or the burned-out caregiver. Improving your prayer life starts with matching a specific spiritual method to the unique constraints of your actual daily schedule. Take the overwhelmed novice. If you feel intimidated by unstructured silence and routinely draw a blank when you try to speak to God, you need a roadmap. The complete framework provides that roadmap by using the structural model found in Matthew chapter 6. This method begins with praise to shift your focus away from your own anxieties. From there, you move to intentionally aligning your perspective with God's will. Only then do you move into specific requests, asking for daily needs, confessing shortcomings, and seeking protection from temptation. By providing a comprehensive script for your thoughts, this framework removes the pressure of unstructured time and ensures your prayer covers every essential area of life. However, there is a trade-off. Executing this properly requires high mental energy, quiet surroundings, and a significant block of dedicated time. While it leads to deep theological reflection, it can easily turn into a hollow checklist if you try to force it while you're physically or mentally exhausted. Then there is the distracted veteran. You know how to pray, but you find it impossible to maintain focus while sitting in a modern, cluttered home. Your solution is the environmental optimizer. This is the practice of building a dedicated sacred space to lower the cognitive cost of starting your prayer. This requires dedicating actual square footage in your home, removing all digital devices from the area, and adding sensory anchors like plants or natural light. You can tailor the space to your own aesthetic needs. Some prefer a modern eclectic style, inspired by figures like Pope John Paul II, which uses modern art and clean lines to create an atmosphere of focus. Others prefer a cozy nook. This style, often associated with the devotion of Padre Pio, uses plush seating, kneelers, and warm textiles to create a sense of sanctuary. Entering a space designed for one specific purpose creates a psychological boundary. It signals to your brain that it is time to stop processing the day and start focusing on God. The downside is simple. This requires available space in your home and a one-time investment of effort to set it up. While a sacred space is a powerful cure for distraction, it can also lead to location dependency, making it harder for you to connect with God when you are away from home. Finally, we have the burned-out caregiver. If you are caring for both children and aging parents, you likely lack the time for a framework and the privacy for a sanctuary. The kinetic minimalist approach validates a different path. Instead of sitting still, you integrate prayer into physical movement. You take a single 60-second breath prayer, or a short scripture verse, and tie it to a physical action, like a daily walk or pacing the house during a quiet moment. This lower barrier to entry allows you to burn off nervous energy while resetting your nervous system in the middle of a high-pressure day. It doesn't offer the same theological depth as a long, seated session, but for those running on fumes, it provides an essential spiritual lifeline. Your prayer life becomes effective when you diagnose your primary point of failure and apply the right solution. Use this protocol to determine which method fits your current situation. If you are easily distracted, prioritize your environment. Build a sacred space and use a physical journal to keep your mind on track. If you are intimidated by silence, utilize the Matthew 6 framework to provide a clear biblical structure for your words. And if you are simply exhausted, keep it kinetic. Use short breath prayers to maintain your connection without overtaxing your mind. Think of this as a spiritual rewind. We have to strip away the complex expectations and get back to the basics of why we are communicating with God in the first place. At its core, prayer is a relationship that thrives on simple, honest communication. You just need to lower the friction enough to press play. So assess your environment, choose the framework that fits your current season of life, and start the conversation today.